Hey everybody, I'm Connor, that's Doug, and this is the Bethel School District Presents podcast, and we have a very special show this week. We are on location at the brand new Expedition Elementary, and we have two very special guests with us. Kylie, who is a third grader, and Eden, a fifth grader.
And welcome to you both, and also thank you to our voters for approving the bond back in 2019 that allowed us to build this Expedition Elementary School, our 19th elementary school in the district. Now, Kylie, you came to us from Nelson Elementary School. Now you're here at Expedition. What's your favorite part of the new school so far?
Playground.
The playground. Tell me a little bit more about that.
I like how it has like that little the obstacle course.
Oh, that's really fun. And Eden, how about you? Favorite part of the new school?
The people, they're like so nice to me. And the second story.
Having a two-story school, that's cool. Tell me more about the people. Are you talking about students? Are you talking about some of the staff? The teachers. Any particular ones you want to shout out?
Miss Belandi, Miss Olson, my old teacher, Miss Kermit. She was like so lovely and like really nice to people.
Wow, Miss Olson, the principal you're talking about?
The teacher.
There's a Miss Olson, the teacher, and a Miss Olson, the principal. That's pretty crazy. Miss Olson, the principal, will be joining us a little bit later in the show.
And Eden, you mentioned some of your favorite teachers. What about you, Kylie? Do you have any favorite teachers here?
Mrs. Thompson and Miss Clay.
And what do they teach?
Mrs. Thompson teach third, which she's my teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and Miss Clay, I think, teaches kindergarten.
And so when you're in class, what's your favorite part of the day in terms of studying? Do you like math? Do you like history? Do you like English? What do you like?
I like reading.
Reading? And what's your favorite book?
Probably Dr. Seuss.
Oh, you can't go wrong with Dr. Seuss. So what about you, Eden? You mentioned some of your favorite teachers, but what's your favorite subject in school?
Math.
Math. Oh, man, that was not my strong suit, nor Doug's.
So what kind of math are you working on this early in the year? I'm sure you're well past addition and subtraction at this point.
Yeah, we're like doing centimeters to kilometers, like how much does a time by, and 137 times like 4.
Wow. Okay, so big, like multiplication type stuff. And I love the application stuff, learning about centimeters in the metric system. That's really cool.
And you could give Doug $10 and he wouldn't be able to answer that question.
137 times 4? No. So math comes into play a lot when you're growing up, and there's a lot of different jobs you could do with that. Is that in your future? What are you looking at being when you grow up, Eden?
NFL player.
An NFL player. You've got a Seahawks jersey on right now. I should have guessed that right out of the gate.
Well, and we do have some amazing athletic programs here in school, so you'll be well on your way. Kylie, what about you? Have you started to think about what you'd like to do when you grow up? You have a lot of time, but you can never too early start thinking about it.
A zookeeper.
Oh, that'd be a cool job. What would you like about that?
The lions.
The Lions.
Absolutely.
What's the best zoo you've ever been to?
The San Diego.
The San Diego Zoo.
That's a famous one.
Yeah, that is a really good one.
We've talked a little bit about your favorite classes here, and it sounds like there's some great ones. But let's talk about some classes that aren't here that maybe you'd love to see here. If you could pick any class that they could teach at this school, what would it be?
Probably zoo.
Oh, that would be a cool one. And then you'd be well on your way to being a zoo owner-operator.
Ologist?
Zoologist? I don't know if that's it.
That's a...
You'll have to check. Get the interns to check on that one.
I guess animal keeper maybe. That would be a great class though. They actually want to give a shout out to the Pierce County Skills Center here. There's a veterinary tech program that they have where you learn how to work with dogs and cats and turtles, and they have all kinds of hands-on stuff in the class, which is pretty cool. How about you, Eden? If you could invent a class that would be taught here, what would it be?
All about football.
All about football. History of football. Play calling,
Math
maybe?
of football.
The math of football.
There we go. There's a
that.
class right there. We'll
I
get that
like
into
that.
the CTE class or something.
That sounds good. Well, Halloween is right around the corner. Before we let you two get back to class, let's talk a little bit about costumes. First off, do you dress up for Halloween? Kylie
No.
does not dress up for Halloween. Eden, how about you?
Yeah.
And what is the best costume you've ever worn?
Probably Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. You were the boy wizard himself?
No, I think I was, I forgot his name. I haven't watched it in a long time. It's the guy with the long beard.
Oh, Dumbledore.
Yeah.
The wizard. I love that. Well, Kylie and Eden, thank you both so much for joining us today. We've really enjoyed having you on the podcast, and we hope you guys have a great first year here at Expedition. And joining us now is Sarah Olson, the principal of the brand new Thank You Voters Expedition Elementary School. Sarah, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Before we get into the serious questions, we'd be remiss if we didn't ask you about your favorite Halloween costume. Thinking back now, what's been your favorite Halloween costume growing up?
So as a child, my favorite Halloween costume was Pippi Longstockings.
Oh, man, that's
classic.
great.
I loved those books, and I have a lot of hair. And so my mom was able to put some coat hangers through my braids and make them stick out like Pippi Longstocking. And had the freckles with the makeup and the whole bit. So I matched my book character.
Oh, not bad.
That's a great costume. Wow. Now, you started that with as a kid, so do you still dress up?
Sometimes we do trunk or treat as elementary schools, and every school that I've been at has been big participants in the trunk or treat. And so there's been different costumes for that. We always theme as an office staff. And I don't really get to theme anywhere else, or as a child, I didn't theme with my siblings. So I love being able just to have that community feel and see the kids' faces light up when they see us, not as a principal or not as office staff in the school.
Maybe it's time to bring back Pippi Longstocking.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for bringing the kids to chat with us. And we asked them this question, and now it's your turn. What's your favorite part of this new school?
It's hard to pick just one. Now that we're in the groove of things, we're still, progress over perfection. We don't have everything perfect yet. But I'm so impressed by our community. We have just amazing parents so far. They've been so patient with us as a new school, learning how to create new systems and then implement those systems and then tweak the systems. And you can just see their love for their kids and their students and their support for our building, our staff, and what we're doing here. I've been pretty impressed with the outreach that we've gotten so far.
And Sarah, you mentioned one of the best things about this new role here is the community, and this is an incredibly diverse community. How has that added to the experience?
Yeah, diversity is definitely one of the best parts of our building here at Expedition Elementary. We have 18 different languages that we know of that are spoken within our school. And so it's been a great learning opportunity for me and my staff, just coming together to best meet the needs of our community, but also to learn from them, learn about what makes their culture special and how do we best interact in a way that we're serving them and meeting their needs.
That's fantastic, especially for a community school like this one, built in the Lapoma community. You are mostly a walking school here.
Correct. Yeah, we have probably about 60% of our parents that either walk with their kids or allow their students to walk to school. About 40% of them are doing vehicle drop-off or pickup.
And you came from Clover Creek Elementary before this, which is not a walking school. What have been the big differences you've noticed about a school that is predominantly a walking school and a school that was not?
Well, main difference was figuring out systems to help students be safe in walking to and from school. This being a brand new school, a brand new development, had to meet with transportation to look over safe walk routes and had to work with the construction department, with risk management to identify crosswalk areas. At Clover Creek, I didn't have any crossing guards. Here I have 4. And then we had to look at, how do we make sure that kids, as much within our control as we can, are safe walking to and from school outside of our locus of control. So we divided them up into walking school buses. And so Cindy Carlson at Transportation is amazing. And she divided our community up based off of that address, in that population, in that address. So then kids have little tags on their backpacks that tell us what walking group color they're in. And then parents have volunteered to help walk those walking school buses to those neighborhoods or the parts of the neighborhood. So we release the walking school bus that is the furthest away from the school first, and then to the closest to the school. So that way the hope is that they travel together and are safe together.
That's fantastic. What an innovative idea. Connor, it sounds like you could have joined one of those walking school buses when you came over here for the first day, and not to put your business out there, but you got lost.
I did get
in the development. Tell us that story.
Well, it's just, if you've driven around the Lapoma First community, it is a little intimidating. They all kind of look the same, and there's a lot of blind turns, and I even asked someone turns out it was like 3 blocks away from the school. Where's the new school? And they had no idea what I was talking about. So it also feels pretty siloed in their individual neighborhoods. So yeah, that's a lot to get used to. But it's amazing that, because I think a lot of people think, oh, it's a walking school. That makes it all easy. It's just a free for all. Let the kids go. They'll walk home. But there's so much more to it that people wouldn't know.
Well, Sarah, you're a Bethel kid. Back in the day, you went to Evergreen Elementary, Frontier Junior High at the time, and graduated from Bethel High School. What do you do as a leader of a school to encourage your students to stay in their community and give back like you've done?
I think it's just really important to teach them the act of service, right? And so we talk as a staff about a leadership triangle, and that we don't just get to be leaders by being called a leader, that we have to earn that through our influence. And our influence can only be present if we've served and sacrificed. And that service and sacrifice is to our community. And so really, you got to walk the walk. And it can't be something that you just say and expect people to do. And so just teaching our kids the importance of making sure that we're connecting with our community, that we're giving back to the community that gives so much to us. And that's a lot. Our Bethel voters, that it's not just parents out there that are voting for these bonds and levies. They're giving back to kids in ways that hopefully these kids will be able to pay forward later as voters in this community. So the school is a prime example of that.
You came up through Bethel schools, and now you're leading a Bethel school. Can you tell us a little bit more about your journey to this spot you're at now? When did you know you wanted to be in education?
I was actually at Central Washington University going to be a physical therapist, and I helped with some summer camps at Central, and just fell in love with kids, just fell in love with teaching them and helping to promote their natural inquisitiveness, and just realized that I had a calling there. And some of it was pretty natural to me, whereas chemistry and physical therapy was not. And so I was able to really just fall in love with the idea of helping kids to be better themselves and then to better our community.
Love that. Before we get to our fun question to end our conversation today, I want to give you a chance to shout out your staff here, any particular folks that have really stepped up during these first days of school, and it's fair to say everybody in the building.
Yeah, everybody in our building. We have an amazing group here. I've been very impressed with the flexibility, just the growth mindset that my staff has had. We've had some unique challenges that you don't encounter in a building that's already operating. In a building that's brand new, some hiccups have happened, and some of those hiccups daily. And everybody is just wrapped around with a solution-oriented, child-focused mindset. It's not about what's easiest for them as adults. It's what do our kids need? What do our students need? And I've been very, very pleased with the amount of initiative that my staff has been able to take just to pitch in wherever they see the need.
And before we let you go, Sarah, we know you're an outdoor fanatic. And so we wanted to ask you, what is your favorite place to visit in Washington State?
That's a hard question. Again, you guys are full of hard questions today. There's so many different parts of our state that are amazing, just depending on what you're feeling like, what you're in the mood for. If you want to go to the beach, or if you want to go be immersed in the forest, if you want to go to Eastern Washington and have a little more sunshine, a little more dry land. And Confluence State Park in Wenatchee is somewhere where my family and I try to go at least once a year. Beautiful seasons over there, but there's also a lot of opportunity for hiking, bike riding. We do some kayaking. It's a phenomenal area for family-oriented activities.
That's a great pick. We talked a little bit before we started recording, and you said you've been to quite a few state parks, a lot of camping in your background. What percentage of Washington state parks would you say you've been to? Just kind of ballpark it.
Oh, that's hard. There's so many of them, right? More than we even know, but I'm well over 50%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
We try to get out often, at least one weekend a month of non-chores at home is our goal.
I love that. What's maybe your top 5 state parks, just off the top of your head?
So like I mentioned, Confluence State Park. We love Ohanapakash State Park. Dosey Wallops over by the Hood Canal. It's a good one. Fort Flagler, Fort Warden, those are all pretty amazing. Lots of bunkers over there to go
Fort
travel
Warden's
between.
really wild to check out. That's a real cool place if you're a history buff.
Yeah.
So, Doug, I'm not going to let you off the hook either. What's your favorite place in Washington State to visit?
Well, I'm not going to pick a state park because honestly I haven't been to tons, but I'm going to pick a national wildlife reserve that's just down I-5, the Billy Frank Jr. Nisqually National Wildlife Reserve. Been going there for a long time now. Love to go bird watching and walk up and down the different trails. Always see a great blue heron every time I'm there, and really been seeing a lot of bald eagles lately too, which has been pretty great. And one time I saw a cedar waxwing, which was a very exciting moment because I've only seen 2 in my life, so that was very cool. How about you?
Well, I'm going to go slightly different, and I'm going to say fall or winter in Leavenworth. Mm-hmm. Can't beat it. It's either, if it's October, you've got all the cool Oktoberfest stuff. If it's closer to Christmas, you get the lights, and it's beautiful and very wintry. So that is kind of my favorite place to be in those months.
That's a cagey answer because now I want to know your spring and summer favorite places to be.
Sleeping at my house.
That's valid. Well, thank you all for listening. This has been the Bethel School District Presents podcast, and thank you to Kylie and Eden, and of course, Sarah Olson, principal at Expedition. Thank you, Voters Elementary School, the 19th elementary school in our district. Connor and I will be back next week.
Maybe. We'll see how this one.